When you start to learn a new programming language, you basically follow some setup process, then start coding. But in this video, instead of, setting up everything, I want to give you some insights about Python and programming languages. So there are a lot of programming languages out there. We will learn Python in this open course, but you might be heard of Java, C, C++, JavaScript, and there are a lot of other languages as well. So here we will go with Python, but let's first understand why there are a lot of programming languages. The first reason is that every programming language serves for an objective. You can do a lot of stuff with only one programming language, but when you look at it, some programming languages are specialized for some areas. For example, if you want to develop Web3 application, you might want to go with Solidity programming language. Or if you want to do a web application, you can go with JavaScript. Or if you want to create some machine learning projects, you might pick Python. So as you can see, these languages are specialized in specific fields. And when we want to develop a project in that specific field, we actually go for the language that works best for that area. Can't we do almost everything with a single programming language? Of course, you can do a lot of things with a language. For example, with Python, you can create games, web applications, machine learning projects, but we can't really say that Python works best and the most efficient language for all of these areas. We have varying ideas and intentions, and developers created different programming language to meet these ideas, these intentions. We can give an analogy from human beings as well. For example, if you study medicine, you might also be good at some other fields like arts or music, but it doesn't mean that you are really good at in all of these areas. You can do some other stuff, but your main objective, your main area is medicine. So it's valid for programming languages as well. In this open course, we will learn Python, but why? Because Python offers a wide variety of libraries and classes that can help us during the development. For example, in other programming languages like C, you should create even basic functions, on your own, then use it in your functions. But in Python, there are a lot of built-in functions that can help us. The other thing is, as I mentioned before, you can create a lot of applications with Python. You can create games, web applications, and machine learning projects. Maybe when you focus in one of these areas, you will switch to other language. But to learn something, to get used to with those areas, you can go with Python as well. The other great thing is Python syntax. Python has a pretty chill syntax, meaning that its syntax is designed to be readable and clean while developing something. For example, if you want to do something like this, you want to split text-based data and you want to add it into list. You don't need to know anything about it. And you can really do this in one line and print as well in Python. But when it comes to languages like C or C++, it's more complicated to write these kind of functions. So what you need to understand, I'm not talking about the efficiency here. What I'm talking about is it's really clear to write. You decided to learn Python and you have your computer, to write your code to set up Python environment. But before doing this, let us understand the logic here. How we actually switch from human languages to programming languages. Once we understand this logic, it will be easier for us to switch other topics as well. So here I will open my Notepad application. You can just type Notepad if you are on Windows, or you can use another Note application. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm gonna say, let's learn Python today. Okay, so there's something about this sentence. It's nothing special, but if you're able to understand this sentence, it means that you know English language. You actually have that English environment in your brain, and you are able to understand, interpret this sentence. Actually, when we switch to programming languages, there is a similar situation there as well. For example, let's first save this file. I'm gonna say Control S. Then I will save it on my desktop. And there's something important that you need to see here. It's a TXT file because it's just text-based data and there's nothing special in that. And I'm going to save this file as a TXT file. Let's say learn python.txt. Okay, so I'm going to save this file. Okay, now I saved this file. Now I want to create another file and I'm going to write a line of Python code in that file. So I'm going to open my Notepad again. And in this file, I'm going to type something like print hello world. This basically means that I want to print out the text hello world, and I want to see the result of it. But there's a problem here. In our previous example, I was able to understand the sentence because I knew English language. But here there is a code written in a programming language, and my computer should be able to understand, should be able to interpret this code so that it can give me some result. Just in my previous example, I had that English environment. Now my computer needs that environment to be able to run this Python code. So before doing this, I will just save this file as well, and I want to show you something. In our previous example, it was a txt file, but now I have just written some Python code. So if it's a Python code, I should use a different extension, which is .py extension. So that's very important to understand. If your file is written in a different programming language, like for example Java, it should be .java. If it's written in Python, it should be .py. If it's written in C, it should be C. If it's a txt file, a text-based plain text, you should go with the extension .txt as we did before. So I'm gonna say hello world.py. So I'm gonna save this file as well. So let's save it on our desktop. Okay, now you can see this file as well. So here's the problem. We are not still able to see the result. And how can we do that? Okay, like I mentioned before, I need an environment. I want this code to be interpreted by my computer. But my computer says, okay, I need an environment to execute this code. And how are we going to do that? We basically need to follow some setup process and understand the logic there as well. Then we can start coding. But before doing all of this, I wanted to mention, the switch from human languages to programming languages, why we need an environment, why we need a setup so that it can understand our code. It was very important, and in the next video we will just answer that question mark. How can we provide that environment? I will see you in the next one.